Welcome. Hi, my name is Ida Reis, and I'm a certified divorce lending professional. And this interview is part of the Divorce Literacy Series from the Divorce Lending Association. And today I have with me Jac Knust, a family law attorney. Welcome, Jac.
Hello, Ida. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Would you kindly provide us with a little background information on yourself and your practice and what you do, your specialties?
Sure. I've been practicing law for 50 years. I first started my career as an assistant state's attorney and then later as a public defender. So there was a lot of emphasis in the beginning on criminal law. When I started in the county I'm in, it was much less populated. So you pretty much had to do all types of law to survive. So in the beginning, I didn't do much family law, but about 20 years into my practice, I divorced myself, and that got me very interested in family law, especially from the standpoint of seeing how poorly the system deals with the divorce situation. So it motivated me to get trained as a mediator and ultimately to study collaborative law. So now I more or less specialize in out-of-court settlements of family law cases. But I will try cases too. I just prefer to help people settle out of court.
Why do you prefer to do out of court? Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Sure. Several reasons. One, it's faster. Two, it's cheaper. Three, I think it's much more rewarding to a client because they don't have to go to court and air their dirty laundry and have other people hear very intimate things about the demise of their marriage and their children. So I think settling out of court gives you a much better way of resolving whatever issues you have with your spouse and resolving child and property issues.
Perfect. Okay, so oftentimes people in the state of Maryland they end up with a marital separation agreement, but at some point they have to go to court to finalize the divorce, correct? Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Yeah, can you just elaborate on that, like the time, how much time is involved, what's involved with that? So, and take us through like what happens to get that marital separation agreement? What are the processes you use?
Yes. Yeah, that's pretty much what I say to clients now. I say your hard work is to get the marital settlement agreement. The easy part now is getting the divorce itself. Many jurisdictions, and Maryland is one of them, where now by the agreement of two parties, you can get a divorce, no waiting period. You don't even have to live apart. You just need the marital settlement agreement and you can get a divorce, which means as fast as you can get it scheduled in the court system, maybe 6 weeks. You go to the court with a 10-minute hearing. The magistrate will ask you a series of questions, and you will be divorced very quickly. So the divorce itself, or the involvement of the court system itself, it can be that limited. All the judge is really going to do is to approve what you and your spouse have agreed to. And so this is one of the main advantages of settling out of court is and this may sound a little funny, you don't have to do it the way the law would do it. You can do it any which way you want. You can customize your marital settlement agreement to suit the specific needs of the spouses and the children, which to me is highly advantageous over going to court, rolling the dice, not knowing how a judge is going to perceive you or your case, and probably both parties walking out of the courthouse being upset about the result because it's probably something neither of them wanted.
Mm-hmm. So you said that you do both mediation and collaborative divorce. Can you tell us, for our listeners, the difference between the two processes?
Sure. As a mediator, I'm a neutral. So I listen to both sides. I use my skills to hopefully have them come to an agreement, marital settlement agreement in the instance of a divorce. And This again is done in a setting, a non-courtroom setting. It's done hopefully in a non-intimidating atmosphere. And you oftentimes liken it to, all right, we're going to sit around the kitchen table. We're just going to have a discussion. We're going to try to figure out what both of you can find acceptable. So that's what mediation is. Even though I'm a lawyer, I'm not the lawyer for either side. I'm using my knowledge and skills as a lawyer to hopefully help them come to a settlement agreement. Collaborative law is a little bit different in that role, I am a lawyer. I do give legal advice and represent a client, but the emphasis is not on preparing for court and going to trial. Again, the emphasis is on using my skills as a lawyer and as a mediator to help people resolve conflicts out of court. And I know you're familiar with the collaborative law process. We involve allied professionals such as yourself, mortgage brokers, realtors. We involve mental health people as coaches. We involve financial planners. It could really be anybody else that typically would form the basis for expertise and knowledge in a divorce proceeding.
So it's really about developing a team to help the couple come to solutions that seem to be sort of roadblocks and make it a process where, everyone can.
Yes, and right. So the team approach is really critical because especially with the teams I work with, typically I've known these people for a long period of time. I know their professional experience, and I can select the right persons for the team to help people achieve their goals in the divorce.
Absolutely. And can you, if you had to give someone advice going down this path, what would that be? What are your thoughts on that?
A couple pieces of advice. One, work hard on your marriage so that you don't get a divorce. But if that fails, and we all know the statistics, half the marriages in the United States now fail. And I think part of the reason for that is many people marry young. They don't really know themselves, so to speak. Their life evolves. They find out that this partner's not a good fit for them, and they get a divorce. So number two, so kind of a related part of that is you want to associate yourself with your friends, your family, and good, competent professionals, because this is in a very emotionally draining period of your life, probably one of the biggest life events you'll ever have. And so you want to just do it very carefully and with as much support as you can have from professionals as team members and from family or individual therapists to help you go through a very challenging point in your life.
Yes, and we all know that as professionals, but I think when you're going through it yourself, it's kind of, it becomes a big blur to the people that are going through it themselves. So a great time to lean on the professionals, would you say?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
So are you able to share some particular case that was particularly gratifying without, of course, sharing any personal detail, but something that was really impactful that might help the listeners sort of discern, maybe would apply to someone in the audience?
Yes. I recently did a collaborative law case, and me and the other professionals agreed to do this in a fee structure that was a little bit different than the norm. Instead of charging on an hourly basis for all of our time, we decided to do it on what's called a flat fee basis, where we basically priced it at X dollars to do the whole, and it was a collaborative divorce, a whole collaborative divorce. And it was not without challenges. It was a very complicated case, but I think at the end, it was very gratifying to not only the professionals, but to the clients who were happy to resolve their case out of court using the team model in our collaborative approach.
That's great. Do you have any final thoughts for our listeners?
Make sure you engage competent, qualified, experienced professionals. It makes all the difference in the world because, again, it's what might appear to be simple in a divorce situation oftentimes is very complicated. There are tax laws that apply, there are divorce laws that apply, there are issues of selling and buying houses, trying to refinance, and you really need to look at your whole financial picture kind of for the rest of your life. So it is probably one of the most important things you would ever do. So it's really important to pick a qualified, experienced team to help you with that.
So well said. So well said. The cases I've been involved with, that is just so well said. I appreciate it. So Jack, can you give us your web address and lead us to contact information to reach you should the listener want to contact you?
Yes, if anybody wants to reach me, we have a website, and the web address is www. And it's my first initial last name, JKNUST.com. And you can call us directly or text us at 443-345-5991. I would be happy to offer a free consultation to anybody who wants more information.
Thanks so much. We appreciate the information today. Thanks, Jack.
Okay, you're welcome.